Just imagine this for a moment. You wake up one day and suddenly realize that your country simply does not exist anymore. No land to stand on, no house to sleep in, no graveyard where your ancestors are buried. Everything is finished, gone, swallowed by the blue ocean. This is not a scene from the movie 2012 or Interstellar. This is something that's going to happen in a couple of decades. There is a country on Earth that is officially preparing to upload itself to the cloud. Yes, you heard that right. The government is 3D scanning every single tree, every building, every rock to create a digital twin of their nation. Why? Because in just a few years, the physical country will be wiped off the map forever. Today, we are talking about Tuvalu, the world's first nation facing total extinction and its desperate sci-fi plan to survive inside the metaverse. But here is the most frightening part. Tuvalu is only the beginning. The water rising there is coming for Mumbai, Kolkata and New York next. Buckle up because this story is genuinely terrifying. Welcome to the Pacific Ocean, a vast, stunning blue expanse. And right in the middle of nowhere lies a tiny hidden gem called Tuvalu. It is one of the smallest countries in the world, with a population of just around 11,000 people. To put that in perspective, that is less than the population of a single busy street in Mumbai or Delhi. But do not let its size fool you. This tiny island nation is about to set one of the most terrifying precedents in human history. Tuvalu is on the verge of becoming the world's first ghost state. We hear about climate change all the time. Save the polar bears, ice caps are melting. Honestly, it feels distant, like a problem for the year 2100. But for the people of Tuvalu, the apocalypse is not in the future. It is happening on Tuesday. Literally. To understand why, we need to look at geography. Tuvalu is not a normal island like Sri Lanka or Madagascar. It is something called an atoll. Millions of years ago, a volcano erupted from the ocean and later slowly sank back down. Coral reefs kept growing around its edges, leaving behind a ring of land, like a donut floating in the sea. That is Tuvalu. It looks beautiful, but it has a deadly weakness. It is flat, completely flat. The highest point in the entire country is just 4.6 meters above sea level. The average elevation is barely 2 meters. If you stand on a chair at the beach, you're almost the tallest thing on the island. So when a high tide comes or a storm hits, the ocean does not just crash on the beach, it walks straight into people's living rooms. Now you might think, sea levels rise by a few millimeters, what's the big deal? Let's look at the data from NASA. Between 1993 and 2023, sea levels around Tuvalu rose by 15 centimeters, 1.5 times the global average. By 2050, just 25 years from now, most of Tuvalu's critical infrastructure will be underwater during high tides. By 2100, 95% of the country will be uninhabitable. If you are 20 years old today, within your lifetime, you will watch an entire sovereign nation disappear. Tuvalu's capital, Funafuti, is a long, thin strip of land. The island is so narrow that the airport runway takes up nearly half of it. When tides rise, water does not just come from the sides, it bubbles up from below because the ground is made of porous coral. Crops no longer grow properly because the soil has become too salty. So what do you do when your home is drowning? You have only two choices: fight the ocean or run away. Tuvalu first tried to fight. Inspired by Dubai's Palm Jumeirah, they attempted to reclaim land by dredging sand and building concrete walls. They managed to create about 18-19 acres of new land. But the reality is harsh. Tuvalu is poor. It does not have oil money. It depends heavily on aid from countries like Australia, UK and New Zealand. Building sea walls around an entire country costs billions of dollars. And even if you manage to build them, what happens when the water rises further? It's nothing more than a temporary band-aid on a bullet wound. That is when the government activated Plan B, a plan so radical it sounds like science fiction. If the land is lost, does the country die? Tuvalu says no. The government has officially amended its constitution, declaring that Tuvalu will exist forever even if its land disappears. They are creating a complete digital twin of the country. Right now, LiDAR scanners and high-resolution cameras are mapping every beach, every coconut tree, every shop, every church. Citizens are being asked to bring their most precious belongings to be scanned. Grandmothers are recording traditional songs. Dancers are motion capturing festivals. An entire culture is being uploaded to the cloud. The idea is that decades from now, a child born in Australia or America who has never physically seen Tuvalu can wear a VR headset and walk through the same village his grandfather grew up in. He can hear the waves, listen to the music, and even attend a government meeting in a virtual world. Tuvalu plans to issue digital passports, conduct blockchain-based elections, and become the world's first sovereign digital state. But this raises a massive legal question. According to international law, a country needs a defined territory. So if that territory is underwater, is it still a country? Tuvalu is now fighting at the United Nations to change this definition so it can retain control over its ocean waters and resources even after the land disappears. This is not science fiction, this is survival. Of course, people can't live inside a hard drive. They need food, homes, and real lives. That is why Tuvalu signed a historic treaty with Australia called the Falepili Union. Australia agreed to give permanent residency to 280 Tuvalu citizens every year with access to healthcare, education, and jobs. This is being called the world's first climate visa. At this rate, within 40 years, the entire population of Tuvalu will relocate to Australia. But there is a catch. Australia added a clause preventing Tuvalu from signing defense or security agreements with other countries without Australia's approval. In exchange for survival, Tuvalu has sacrificed its defense independence. Now you might be watching this from India, the US or Europe and thinking this is tragic, but I am safe. Are you? Tuvalu is the canary in the coal mine. By 2050, cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Dhaka, Chennai and New York are all at serious risk. The same water swallowing Tuvalu today will knock at the gateway of India tomorrow. The big question is, where will they go? Tuvalu teaches us a powerful lesson. We can ignore nature for some time, but eventually nature collects its dues. But there is hope. In the 1990s, the world panicked about the ozone hole. Countries came together, signed the Montreal Protocol, banned harmful chemicals, and today the ozone layer is healing. We have done it before, we can do it again, but only if we act now. Because if we don't, one day we might all have to start scanning our houses for the metaverse.